One thing that you mentioned earlier, I want to dig into a little bit is the internship at the DA's office.
Yeah.
Because the way you mentioned, you were like, oh, I just got this internship at the DA's
Oh
office.
yeah,
And I'm
that.
thinking like half the people listening are like, I want an internship at the DA's office. Like, how did that actually come about?
Yeah, that's a great question. I didn't mean to breeze by it. It was actually a huge deal for me because I had struggled for literally 3 years to find anything law related, paid or not. Like somebody get me in a law office. Like I just want to do something that's actually related to what I'm passionate about. So I found out the year prior from my mom's friend who's a police officer that you could intern as even a high school student for at least for Los Angeles County, which is close to where I live, and also San Bernardino County. Um, so what I did was I like looked online. I was like, is this a true thing? Did a little bit of a Google search, and I found like a gigantic application. I was like, well, all right, there goes 3 hours of my night. So I just like literally printed out the whole thing, started writing it down, sent it out in like a giant envelope, and waited to hear back. The first year, it turned out I missed the application deadline because I didn't know about it. So the second year, I sent it in about a month early and did a couple calls, a couple emails following up. I didn't really ever hear back from San Bernardino, so not sure what was going on there. But LA, within like 2 weeks of getting it, said, hey, we come out, just do a background check, get your fingerprints done, we'll get an interview going, like all this stuff, boom, boom, boom. And I'm sitting here like, that was it? Like, that's all I got to do. So I ended up going in, got my fingerprint, got a badge, went in for an interview. And the interview process, at least for me, ended up being much more of like, no, literally, like anybody can do this as long as they pass the background check. So you're just here to like meet us and make sure you feel comfortable. I actually ended up interning in Pomona, which, little known fact, is one of the crime capitals of the United States and certainly of California. So there was like drug deals going outside of the courthouse. Attorneys got mugged on the way to their cars. I was like, I am going to die doing this internship. But it ended up being super, super cool. Everyone there was so supportive. I just went in and tried to prove as much as I could that I was dedicated to this position as much as I would have been to a real job. I went 3 days a week, all day long. I said, here I am. Like, I would literally walk around the office and talk to every attorney, like, do you have something I could do? Do you have something I could do? Can I file something for you? Can I I had like a 2,000 page just stack of papers of like medical files that I had to go and just like black out with a crayon. Oh my gosh, it took so long, but it was definitely an awesome experience. And something I didn't even know was an option, or I would have done it way earlier. So if that's something that you're interested in doing, literally just go onto your computer or phone or whatever, type in your county and put in, district attorney internship, or start calling offices. There's a ton of secretaries there who are very willing to direct you to whoever you need to speak to. Not every county is going to offer that, obviously. Some people only want law students, but I was shocked at how great the response was when myself, a junior in college, was just saying, this is something I want to do. And they said, we'll take all the help we can get.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. It sounds like the hardest part of this may have simply been doing the 3-hour application.
Yep, pretty much.
And it's funny too, because I'm here in New York and I've worked with a number of students over the years who had internships at DA's offices. And I happen to be in Brooklyn, but all of the students I worked with, even back when I lived in Manhattan, they all work at the Brooklyn DA's office. So that tells me that maybe Manhattan's hard to get or Queens is hard to get, but there are certain ones that are just more receptive, and
Yeah,
you just do the application, they'll have you in there. And maybe you're not doing the most glamorous work at first, but
probably not.
but it sounds like you took some initiative and were able to reach out to the various attorneys there and get some perhaps more substantive work at times.
Yeah, I think it's just not very publicized, but there's a lot of attorneys out there who recognize that there are college students and even high school students who can't work in the legal field because they're not qualified to, having gone to law school or taken any classes. And they say, we know you want to be involved. And it ended up, once I, kind of got my hands dirty a little bit for a couple weeks just doing grunt work, they actually started letting me go in courtrooms. I got to help with jury selection. One judge let me sit up at the desk with the attorney where co-counsel sits, even though you're not supposed to do that. He let me do that, and I got to help out with cross-examinations. I wasn't obviously speaking on the record, but I could write notes to the attorney and be like, oh, this jury looked at you weird when you did that. I don't think that person understood what you were saying. It was incredible what they ended up letting me do once I just proved that I wanted to be there and learn as much as I could.
Very cool. Is criminal law something you're thinking of pursuing, or are you interested in something else?
Yeah, so actually my passion is criminal prosecution. So being in the DA's office was just perfect for me. That's where I'm thinking I'll probably end up after law school, although I'm also looking into opportunities with federal work as AUSAs. All that kind of stuff is where I'm probably headed.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.